Every year, my family forgot my birthday no cake. No call then spent thousands throwing glittering parties for my sister. At 7:58 p.m. this year, I slid a blue envelope under the centerpiece at their newest venue and checked the clock. When it hit 8 o'clock, the room would remember whether they liked it or not. The photos on our hallway wall tell the story like a museum. My sister Sophie blowing out candles in ballrooms, Sophie under balloon arches, Sophie standing in confetti while a DJ shouts her name. My frames end at age 10. After that, the glass is blank. Your birthday is so close to the holidays, Mum would say, polishing excuses like silver. Let's do something later. Later meant never. Meanwhile, Sophie got quarter birthdays, promotion parties, even a new apartment brunch with a champagne tower. Last year, I waited up with a small cake I baked myself. Midnight came. The only message was from the pharmacy reminding me I was due for a refill. At 12:07 a.m., Sophie posted a reel from a rooftop party Mum surprised her with on my day. I blew out my candle alone and made a promise. Next year would be different. Before we continue, please subscribe to the channel and write in the comments about which country you're watching this video from. Enjoy the story. I started planning in January quietly, like a heist. I took an extra shift at the coffee shop on weekends and banked every tip. I learned how venues work on weeknights. I learned that if you book early enough and pay the deposit yourself, the contract says your name on the door. By September, I had a venue, the Willow Room, the same place Mum reserved for Sophie's winter gala. My date, the night before. The coordinator raised an eyebrow when I asked to keep the decor neutral and the cake hidden in the kitchen until my cue. "You doing a proposal?" she joked. "Something like that," I said. The invitations were simple white cards with a time and a dress code. Cocktail, dark colors. I mailed them to my family and a few friends with no subject line, just for Lena in ink that wouldn't smudge. I sent Mum a screenshot of the calendar hold. Gathering do not reschedule and she replied a single thumbs up, like she wasn't sure what this was, like she assumed it must be for Sophie. On the day, I did my makeup in the bathroom mirror at my apartment, hands steady. I wore a black dress I bought on sale, and the necklace my grandmother left me, small and stubborn like me. At 7:40 p.m., I walked into the Willow Room. The staff had set out mercury glass candles. The DJ tested the mic. The cake 3 tiers, no name waited behind a swinging door at 7:58. I tucked the blue envelope under the centerpiece at the head table. Inside were copies of 3 things: a receipt, a contract, and a list. The list had 2 columns, Sophie's parties and my birthdays. One side took a page. The other fit on a sticky note. The door opened. My family walked in, smiling like cameras. They didn't know whose name was on the lease, or what the DJ was about to read from the card in his pocket. At 7:59, the room hummed a glass chatter, that soft DJ loop that sounds like money. Mum breezed to the head table, still in her coat, still in command. Sophie floated behind her in a silver dress that shed tiny stars. "Cute space," Mum said, tapping a votive like testing a stage. "Tomorrow will be fuller." "Where's the planner?" "Here," the planner said from behind me. She nodded to me first, then to Mum. "Everything Polina's cues." Mum blinked. The mantel clock by the bar clicked to 8 o'clock. The DJ lifted the mic. "Good evening, Willow Room," he said. "Tonight's host and guest of honor is Lena Hart. Phones down for the first 5 minutes, please." It felt like a plug came out of the wall. Conversation died mid-sip. A fork hit a plate and kept spinning. Mum's smile went brittle. Sophie's eyes did a fast, confused scan for a banner with her name. "There must be a mix-up," Mum told the planner. "We're here for Lena's event," the planner said. .com. "Contract is in the book. Card on file ended 4271. Host signature." She turned the leather folio so the header faced Mum, L. Hart. Mum reached for the centerpiece. Her fingers found the blue envelope. I didn't move. She slid the flap open. 3 things fell into her hand. Receipt, deposit paid in January. Balance paid yesterday, my name. My card. Contract, Date tonight, not tomorrow. Clause highlighted. Host sets program. Announcements by DJ per host's card. Lists 2 columns. Sophie's Party's Promotion Gala $3,800. Apartment Brunch, on $2,500. Winter Ball, $6,400. 12 lines. Lena's birthdays age 11. Later. Age 12. Later. Age 13 to 28. Later. Sophie laughed, once, bright and wrong. You made a list. That's dramatic, accurate, I said. Dad took the paper from Mum's hand and went quiet in a way I had not seen before. He read the totals, then the sticky note I'd stuck at the bottom. This year, we remember on time. The DJ glanced at me. I nodded. He read the small card I'd given him, word for word. We are gathered to celebrate Lena on her actual week. Cake at 8:15. Toasts at 8. No later. Sophie's fiancé tried to help and hurt at the same time. We were going to do something for you tomorrow, Len. Mum has a bakery order and everything. But today is today, I said. And the cake behind that door doesn't say a single name. It's waiting for whoever remembers first. On the long table, place cards waited. Mine was at the center. Sophie reached for it like a reflex. The planner's hand landed light on the linen. Seats are set, she said. Host in the middle. Family flanks left and right. Mum inhaled to argue. The planner pivoted to logistics like a dance. We'll start with a short program, she said, nodding to the DJ. Then drinks. Lights dropped one notch. A projector warm-up blinked against the far wall. The title slide came up, white on black. The year we remember. Beneath it, a row of grey frames like the ones in our hallway blank. Then filling one by one with dates, screen grabs of texts from Mum that all say later. Calendar screenshots with my name dimmed. A photo of the small cake I baked last year with one candle. Aunt Paula sat down hard. Uncle Rick made a sound that might have been a cough. Sophie folded her arms across silver sequins and smirked until the smirk ran out. Mum whispered, to no one. We didn't mean, and then stopped because the projector didn't require her permission. The DJ kept his voice soft. Per the host, there's one more slide before toasts. He looked at me again. I nodded again. The slide changed. On the left, Sophie's Party's total, $27,450 across 5 years. On the right, Lena's birthday's total, $0. Under it, a single line. Tonight's budget, paid by Lena. Sophie laughed. Thinner now. So what? You bought your own party? I bought time, I said. And a room where people sit when I'm in the middle. The planner placed a small black remote in my palm. Your cue, Lena, she said. I felt the weight of it. Light, like a pen. 2 minutes, 2 toasts, the DJ said. Then cake. Mum's eyes were wet and defensive. Both. We can still tomorrow. Will tomorrow can be for you, I said, not unkind. Tonight is mine. I clicked the remote. The next slide didn't show numbers. It showed my grandmother's necklace on my throat, close enough to read the tiny engraving on the clasp. Lou Matter. Always. The room learned a new word for me, and the kitchen door swung. Just enough for me to catch the edge of white frosting and the shine of a single waiting match. The slide with my grandmother's clasp faded to black. The DJ's voice returned, low and steady. Per the host, we'll take 3 toasts. 1 minute each. Facts only, no later. Then cake. I stepped to the head table and set a small sand timer beside the centerpiece. The planner placed a single card in front of the mic. Toast rules. Say one thing Lena did this year. Say one thing you're grateful for. No advice. No tomorrow, Sophie huffed. We're doing homework now. Repair, I said. Takes less time than excuses. Mum reached for the mic and the timer in the same motion. I'll go first, she said, voice bright, the way it gets before it breaks. She glanced at the card and swallowed. This year. Lena picked up double shifts. She paid for this room. Her throat moved. I'm grateful she invited us. The timer filed a soft rain of sand. Mum put the mic down before the last grain. It was not an apology. It was not nothing. Uncle Rick cleared his throat. I got one, he said, surprising himself. In March, Lena fixed my phone so I could see texts without reading glasses. I'm grateful I didn't have to pretend I could still read fine print at 56. People chuckled. The sound wasn't mean. The DJ looked to the third slot. Sophie, she walked to the mic like a person walking to a mirror. The room watched her bracelet catch light. This year, Lena made a slideshow, she said, sweet and sharp. And I'm grateful, the kitchen door swung before she could finish. The cake rolled out on a silver cart, 3 tiers, clean frosting, no name. Behind it, the pastry chef held a book of matches and looked at me. Whoever remembers lights it. I said. Sophie reached for the match like a reflex. Then glanced at the rules card, then at the blank top of the cake. Fine, she said, stepping back. Host first. The chef tore a match free and handed it to me. I struck it. A gold blue bloom. The room inhaled with it. Before the flame reached the wick, the planner touched my elbow. You asked me to remind you about the envelopes, she whispered. Right, I said. And turned to Mum. There's one more thing. I nodded toward the chair beside hers. Taped under it, just like the blue envelope at 8, sat a thin white one. If you said later, Mum slid it free. Careful fingers, careful thanks. Inside, a photo I'd found in the attic last month, me at 10. Blowing out a cupcake with Grandma Ruth's hands around mine. On the back, my grandmother's neat teacher writing, if they forget again, remember first. Light it yourself, kid. Love. RMOM's knees nudged the chair like they might give. She passed the photo to Dad. He looked at it a long time. Sophie tried for levity and missed. So this is a whole production. It's a program, I said. A way to stop later. The match crackled lower. I bent to the candle. Wait, Dad said. The word almost a plea. He took a second match from the chef, struck it on the silver. Let me remember with you. He cupped his hand around mine, so both flames touched the wick. The candle caught a small, steady sun. I didn't cry. I did breathe, like something heavy moved off my ribs. The DJ kept it moving. Cake, at 8:15, he said, like he was narrating a landing. 2 more toasts after slices. Then one announcement from the host. Sophie's fiancé leaned in. Announcement. Paper, I said, nodding at an envelope the planner now set near my plate. Contract addendum, standing reservations. Under it, donation FORM birthday club. County shelter. Sophie saw the word reservation and stiffened. For what? For next year, I said. And the one after. She rolled her eyes, but the tired in them gave her away. You really booked your own birthday in advance. The candle burned clean and even. The projector screen glowed with a soft slide that said cake in big letters, as if the room needed instructions on joy. I lifted the knife the chef offered. The room leaned forward like a single person. 3 slices first, the planner said softly, pointing. Host, Mum, Dad, per your note. The knife waited, bright and still. And at the end of the table, a second envelope, the color of midnight, slid under the door. Pushed by a hand we couldn't see. The planner noticed it at the same time I did. She lifted her eyebrows. My name was on the front. We were not done yet. The knife hovered over frosting. The midnight envelope rested at the end of the table like a dare. Open it, Mum said, not a command, almost a prayer. The planner handed it to me with 2 fingers, careful. Thick paper. My name in ink I knew. Ruth, my grandmother, wrote like a teacher with somewhere to be. I slid a thumb under the flap. Inside, a folded letter, a small brass key taped to the corner, and a printed page with the Willow Room logo. I read the top line quietly. Then, out loud. If you're reading this on a night you refused later, good. Light first. Then open this. I looked at the candle still steady, then back at the room. There's more, I said, and unfolded the letter. Lena, it began. Blue ink, tidy. When you were 10, we ate cupcakes on the porch because the house forgot the date. You said, maybe next year. I said, maybe tonight. I left a small birthday club at the Willow Room, masked them for the ledger. It unlocks when you host your own night without waiting for someone else to make it real. Use it to keep a table set for you every year and to fund a cake for a child at the shelter who doesn't get one. Don't argue with me. Love, Grandma Ruth. The room moved like water, finding a new shore. The printed page beneath it was from the manager. Standing reservation addendum week of December, night before Winter Gala, Lenahachi, table 7 to 10 p.m. Annual, transferable only by Lena. A note at the bottom, initial deposits paid from Ruth Hart Birthday Club ledger. Renewal reminders go to Lena directly. Mum's hand went to her mouth. Mother, she breathed. Half apology, half ache. Sophie's eyes flashed. So Grandma paid for this. You made it sound like I paid for tonight, I said, calm. Grandma paid for tomorrow's I wouldn't talk myself out of. The brass key caught the candlelight. The manager stepped forward like he'd been waiting years. We keep a small locked box in the office, he said gently. Mrs. Ruth asked us to deliver this only if a Lena night actually happened. She prepaid 3 future deposits and left instructions we've honored since she walked in here in a red coat and told us. We were in the remembering business. He smiled at me. Ledger's yours now. Dad cleared his throat, the sound rough. Ruth planned this. All this time? The manager nodded. She came by once a year to check the lock, brought cookies for the staff, called it insurance against later. Sophie's laugh came out thin, then collapsed. So what? We just pivot. Your night, then mine. You're making a museum out of birthdays. No, I said, a map. Yours is tomorrow. Mine is this. Next year, we both get our night, on purpose. The DJ lowered the lights 1 click, soft as an apology. The planner set a small silver tray on the table. 3 forks, 3 plates. Per your note, first slices host, Mum, Dad, she murmured. I cut the first piece with a hand that didn't shake. Set it on my plate. Passed the knife to Mum. She cut a small square like she used to when I was 5, and sugar made me wild. Dad took the handle from her and carved a neat rectangle that looked like a repair. Before we continue, please subscribe to the channel and write in the comments about which country you're watching this video from. Enjoy the story. When we'd set our plates down, I lifted Grandma's letter again. There was a PS at the bottom I hadn't read yet. PS, tell the DJ to read the card in his pocket now. You'll want the room quiet. The DJ touched his lapel, startled, then pulled a second card from inside his jacket, one I hadn't given him. He squinted, then found the line. The birthday club will match the first. $500 in donations tonight to buy cakes for kids at the county shelter. Put cash in the vase by the bar or scan the code on your program. No later, heads turned. At the bar, the planner had already set a glass vase with a card that matched Grandma's neat script. A small QR code smiled up from the corner. Sophie's fiancé reached for his wallet first. Clink, Aunt Paula followed. Clink, even Uncle Rick, who complained about service fees on everything, peeled off a 20 and didn't make a show of it. Clink. Mum looked at me. Can I? She didn't finish. She didn't have to. Please, I said. She stood and walked to the vase, like it was an altar, not a jar. She slid bills in slow clink, her mouth trembled. She didn't fix it. Sophie stayed seated, arms folded, watching the vase fill like it was an argument she wasn't ready to lose. The silver of her dress caught the candle again and again, like blinking. The manager returned with a small, old ledger, the cover scuffed, the pages thin. He set it in front of me and placed the brass key on top. Yours to sign, he said. First line under Ruth. I opened to the marked page. Ruth Hart, deposit, year 1, year 2, year 3. A blank line waited beneath. I took the pen. Lena Hart host, year 4. The ink dried fast. The page didn't buckle. The DJ raised the mic. Per the host, he said. One final announcement after cake. Mum looked at me like she was ready to hear it this time. Sophie looked like she WASN single quotes. The fork on my plate waited. The envelope in my hand went weightless. The vase at the bar filled. And in the corner. The projector idled on a soft slide with one word centered, white on black, now dot. The candle burned steady. Forks waited. The slide on the wall held one word, NOW. The DJ nodded. Host announcement, he said, and lowered the mic toward me. I stood with the letter in one hand and the ledger key in the other. Two things, I said, clear. First, we cut cake. Second, we set a rule so we don't need slides next year. I set the letter down, picked up the knife, and made the first cut clean. The planner slid the plate to me, then to Mum, then to Dad per the note I'd given her hours ago when my hands were still shaking. We each took a bite, vanilla, lemon, something warm. It tasted like the opposite of later. Rule, I said, and held up a small card I'd written. Birthday rules, effective tonight and time only. We celebrate the week of the birthday, not after. Dedicated nights. No stacking. No sharing. No, while we're here. Ledger covers deposits for the birthday club night. Family pays the rest. Shelter cake match every year. If we forget, we double it. Host at the center. Phones down for the first 5 minutes. I set the card by the centerpiece where the blue envelope had been. The planner took a photo for the file, like it was a contract, because now it was. Sophie's arms were still folded, but her jaw was softer. And tomorrow, she asked, careful. My gala? Tomorrow is yours, I said. This doesn't take anything away. It makes sure mine exists too. The DJ lifted a hand toward the bar. Birthday club update, he said. VAR's total is $486. He looked at the manager. Grandma Ruth's match brings it to $986. The manager added, smiling. I'll round it to $1,000 from the house. Aunt Paula clapped once, startled by her own hands. Uncle Rick added a 10 without looking at anyone. Clink. Mum set her fork down. I have something, she said, stepping to the mic like a person approaching water. Fact, I kept saying later because it was easy. Fact, it hurt you. I'm sorry. She held my eyes. I will put your date in ink. I will not move it for anyone. Not even me. It landed. Not decoration. A sentence that could hold weight. Dad cleared his throat. I'll handle food for your night next year, he said. Simple. No potluck. No excuses. Say the number. I'll write the check. He pulled a pen from his jacket, then laughed at himself and tucked it away. Look at me, trying to pay now. Soft laughter moved around the room. Not mean. Human. Sophie stood last. She took the mic and didn't smile. I thought this was a stunt, she said. It isn't. I made jokes because being the center felt safe. I didn't make room for you. She looked at the vase, then the ledger. Tomorrow, I'm adding a slide to my program. Birthday club, we're passing a second vase at the gala. And, she reached into her clutch and pulled out a card. I'll cover next year's balance after the deposit. Not with Grandma's ledger. With mine, the planner stepped forward with a small addendum form, like she had expected this. Sophie signed. The pen made a neat sound on paper. It didn't erase anything. It started something. Before we continue, please subscribe to the channel and write in the comments about which country you're watching this video from. Enjoy the story. The DJ lifted his mic one last time. Per the host, he said, we will now sing. They did. Not loud, not on key. That wasn't the point. They knew the name this time. Mine. We cut more slices. Plates moved like small boats. At the bar, the vase kept catching light and money. The projector went to a photo of me at 10 on the porch, candle smoke curling while Grandma Ruth's hands stayed around mine. No captions. It didn't need any. The manager returned with a tiny velvet box. From the office, he said. Mrs. Ruth left it with the ledger. Give this to Lena when she signs. Inside, a thin pin. 2 hands around a candle. I fastened it inside my dress where only I could feel it. Warm, certain. Sophie drifted to my side with 2 forks, and her mouth set like she was doing something hard on purpose. Can I help pass plates? She asked. Yes, I said. and handed her 3. Mum came next with napkins. Dad followed with coffee he hadn't asked the staff to pour. He carried it like a pledge. By 8:37, the vase was full. The manager held up the slip, $1,312 to the shelter. People clapped like they were signing something together. The DJ checked his watch and nodded at me. "Host," he said softly. "Anything else?" I looked at the slide that still said now, at the ledger, at the pin, at the cake. At my family rearranging themselves in a way I could live under. "One last thing," I said. I held up the key. "This stays with me. The date stays with me. If anyone forgets, again me included, we don't post, we don't pout, we don't say later, we use the key, we book the room, we light the candle, we give a cake to a kid who needs one." I set the key on the ledger and pressed my palm to both like a stamp. The DJ smiled. "Program complete," he said, and the music rose, the good kind, the kind that makes people remember where to put their hands. We danced in a small way, around tables and plates, and the soft weight of repaired things. Tomorrow would be Sophie's gala. Tonight was mine. That wasn't a fight. It was a calendar setting. They had forgotten my birthday for years, while spending money on every version of hers. I booked a room, struck a match, opened an envelope with my name on it, and read a rule my grandmother wrote for me, no later, and for the first time in a long time. The candle burned until I blew it out.